Well, good morning, or evening, afternoon, whenever it is you might be watching this. This is our last of our What on Earth Am I Here For videos, but what I hope will be a continuing practice, as I hope you've found some benefit to these videos as we've gone through What on Earth Am I Here For. This is going to be a last one strictly focused on that, and this video, what we're going to focus on are what to do next. Okay, so we're in week 5 right now. Week 6 is our last week next week. Well, okay, we're done. You want us to meet more. What's going to be there for us? And so I wanted to highlight a couple of things for you. Now, first, you're going to want to talk with your group and make sure everyone, who's able to continue to do this, indefinitely, talk to them. And some folks may have been able to make some time on this day of the week for a short burst, but maybe in the long term, this day of the week, this time isn't going to necessarily always work. That doesn't necessarily mean they can't meet with you. The one thing you want to talk about in terms of how much longer you're going to meet and what if you're going to continue to meet is how often you're going to meet. Are you still going to meet every week? Or are you going to move to every other week? Whatever it takes for you guys to continue to get together, then do. Is it great to only meet once a month? Probably not. But is it better than meeting? Not at all. Definitely. So whatever it takes to get your group to keep going on, do what it takes. And we're here to help you out in any way we can. And to that end, we have a couple of series coming up. Now, when we finish What on Earth Am I Here For, the next couple of weeks, that we're going to be talking about some stewardship stuff. We're going to be celebrating the end of the first year of Wonderful, and so there won't be any small group materials for the sermons and messages from November 17th and November 24th. Then the next Sunday is December 1st. December 1st is the first Sunday of Advent, and we are going to be doing providing materials for Advent. Now, the materials we'll provide for the next couple of series are going to be slightly different than what you have for What on Earth Am I Here For. There won't be a DVD per se. All the sermons we do have on the website, so if somebody misses a group, they can certainly catch up. Misses a worship service, they can certainly catch up on the sermon on Sunday morning, and all of these materials we'll provide will be based off of the sermon. And so we will be doing a great series coming up in Advent called What to Expect When You're Expecting, and highlighting some different things about the expectation that goes on during Advent as we prepare for the Christmas season that comes every December 25th. And so we'll have stuff for you if you want to meet during the Advent season. I know for some groups it might be a little hard because Christmas is so busy. And so we're also doing something really great after the New Year that we're really excited about. And we're going to be talking about discipleship. We're going to be talking about the things that we talk about during our Exploring Discipleship class. And so if you're unfamiliar with that, at Linglestown Life we don't talk about membership per se. We prefer to use the term disciple. And so anybody who wants to join our church as quote-unquote members, we have Exploring Discipleship class. Well, what we're going to do in January 5th through March 2nd is take what we do in that class and make it into a sermon series. And this will accomplish a couple things for us. It will give a refresher for those who have been members, disciples of the church for many years, and give them sort of a refresher as to what we talk about, what we mean when we talk about discipleship. It's also going to give those who want to join the church an opportunity to do so. Now, you can't just attend Sunday mornings and then expect to be able to join the church. What we're asking them to do, and this is something that involves all groups, if you have folks that attend your group that aren't necessarily members, that if they want to join the church, they definitely need to attend Sunday mornings, but in addition to that, we're asking them to be a part of a small group discussion about those Sunday morning messages, to unpack them further, to discuss them further, to really kind of develop them, because 20-30 minutes is not necessarily a lot of time there. Most of our class sessions for the class itself take anywhere from an hour to an hour and a half, and so we're trying to supplement that a little bit, but also be a little creative in how we do that. We will have some new groups that launch just for folks looking to join the church, but we're also encouraging existing groups to talk about this as well, so that if a person who hasn't joined the church is already in a small group, they wouldn't need to join a different group. That hopefully your group will do this stuff as well, as we think it's beneficial for everyone. When we talk about things like discipleship, we'll be talking about the Bible, prayer, fellowship, what all that means. Other spiritual disciplines will highlight stewardship. We will also talk about serving, and we'll talk about what you commit to when you become a disciple here, and remind folks of that commitment, because for some folks it may have been 20, 30, maybe even 50 years since you joined the church. And so just a reminder of what all we expect when people join the church. And so that's what's going to be coming up starting January 5th. Now, all those materials I will develop myself. I will make available on the website, as well as email out to all of our small groups that I have contact information for. And if for some reason you don't start getting the materials, or you haven't gotten an email yet from me, because I've sent several, especially over the last couple of days, make sure you get a hold of me. My email address is on the website under our staff listing, and I will make sure you get added if I missed you or overlooked you in some way, shape, or form, and so that you start getting these materials. Our hope as we go through the year here is that for most of our series we'll be having sermon-based small group materials. We'll definitely have it for Advent, and then the one in the New Year, and then and the one during Lent. And then we'll have to see where the calendar shakes out, because Easter is particularly late this year. We likely won't have much during the summer. A lot of groups take off during the summer, which is perfectly acceptable. I know a lot of families, if you have families in your group, a lot of families use that time off of school to do some family time over the weekends and all sorts of different things. So that's also there. And one final note, this is obviously optional. Now, there are going to be times where we strongly encourage groups to follow along with what we're doing on Sunday morning. And there are going to be times where maybe, if you want to do your own thing, that's perfectly fine. We would strongly encourage you to follow along with us in January, but during the Advent, if you don't necessarily want to do the Advent series, that's fine. I know how busy schedules are. I would at least make sure you're not going to stop meeting between next week and January 5th. If you're going to go 6 weeks without even seeing everybody, that would be a little rough. I would definitely make sure you at least try to get 2 or 3 times at least that you get together, and even if they're just social activities, but also maybe you want to do a service project during Christmas, and that's a great time that people are looking to do some different acts of service. And so maybe you want to get together with your group and go volunteer at a food pantry, at a food bank. Maybe you want to go see if Katra needs any assistance during this time of year. Bethesda Mission. There's all sorts of different opportunities within our denomination affiliation and without it and outside that. So if you need any suggestions for that, feel free to let me know, and I'll connect you with the church that's left the building folks, and they'll have all sorts of different suggestions for you that might fit. I hope this series has been great. I hope these videos have been helpful. We've been putting some good time into these videos. If you have any suggestions as to what we'd like to do next, I'm always open to them. I hope I've answered all the questions that I got via email, and if I didn't, I apologize. I had a lot of different things that came up that you wanted me to cover. I think I got them all. Just make sure that as you continue to meet, hopefully after What on Earth Am I Here For, especially those of you you partner folks who are facilitating and hosting and things of that nature, constantly be keeping your eyes and ears open for somebody who might be able to do what you do for your small group. Because there may be a time where, whether for health reasons or job reasons or whatever, you may need to step away. And we want to make sure that group can continue to meet. And so, one thing that we're always learning, whether it's been on this staff that I've served with or other churches, it doesn't matter, is the idea that you're always looking for your replacement. And I know it's not a positive thought to think about, but we always need to be prepared that, we may not be always around, And we also need to be lifting people up and encouraging them to serve if we see gifts and graces in some of these areas of ministry. And so be mindful of that as well as we go forward, so that there's always somebody there to sort of stand in the gap if a gap ever comes up and exists. So just a couple of those things to highlight for you as we move forward. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to get a hold of me. If you haven't gotten any of my emails, make sure you email me using our church website, and you'll find my email address through the staff listing there. But that's all I have for you. Hope it's been an encouraging time for you, and we can't wait to see what God's going to do next at Linglestown Life. Thank you.